So,
Oh,
uh,
Sherms.
tell us what the plan tonight is, Zeke.
Well, tonight we're going to be doing a fun little, this was very requested, so we're going to look at some pictures and discuss how to tell AI versus real, especially in this day and age, where I see more AI pictures of agates on the internet than I do real ones, especially the really cool stuff. So we're gonna look at some pictures, and I figured we would actually start the night off by voting. So we're gonna do the team's gonna put up a picture. We'll vote if it's real or AI, and we'll have fun looking at those. And then we're gonna cut some Well, then we'll talk about distinguishing. But we'll cut some agates, and I've also pulled some fun stuff out for you guys tonight to do some tote out with, specifically of some fun agate pieces. Yeah, I think we're all pretty on board that one's AI. Right now, I went and pulled the last little bit of the chopstick select out of John's stash. These are pieces that when he went through all of the chopstick agate, he pulled out as the very, very best. And well, John's not going to get a cut of them because we're going to do tote out of them tonight.
Look at this guy go.
I wasn't planning on Tay being here, so part of this was set up before I knew Tay was going to stay.
Ah, I see. They're trying to be sneaky now.
So what we are going to show you are AI agates versus real agates, and all AI agates were generated using Nano, Banana, and Gemini. So if you guys are ready to vote on which agate is AI or real, please type yes in the chat. So it's the same voting rules as well applied, same as the competition. We will show a poll and you can select from the options from there. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this agate is AI since I don't think an existing agate has a rainbow pattern on it or color.
No, the
All right.
Definitely not like
chromatography
that.
is it's something.
So I guess everyone is ready. So pride agate. So I guess everyone is ready. Let us start with the first agate. So try to distinguish if it's real or AI.
Some of these pictures are so good. I'm like, I, I took these pictures and I can't tell.
And remember, your participation is always loved,
It is fun when everybody participates. It brings more community and joy to the experience.
especially since I'm not allowed to participate. So
Poor Tay. I was like, you're gonna get a yap tonight, and now she's like, I have to sit here in silence while we vote.
they're taking away my favorite thing to do that I don't get to do during the workday.
Tay is a certified yapper.
Except if it's during working hours, then I don't talk too much.
This is
And,
true.
and the poll has ended. 85% of the attendees voted that this one is a real agate, and the result of this is AI. So this one is generated
Ain't
by AI.
isn't that crazy?
That is like act like insane. It's kind of creepy. I don't like it.
So in that we are going to show you a comparison on where this rock was inspired from and where it was generated. So we're going to show you a compilation at the end. So let's go to the next rock or next agate. So let us know if this is real or AI.
I'm really excited. I'm throwing some of these pieces of chopstick in the saw before we run out of them. Making a chopstick cab has been on the list for a while now.
That's it now. Your ever-growing list.
Yes.
And stand voting for this one. So this agate is real. So this one is taken by Z. I took a photo of it. And 70% voted that this one is a real agate. So you guys are correct. So next agate, and you now vote if this is AI or real. Ed is asking a question, is Z real or is he AI?
AI.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Glenn, I was looking through your Facebook, I think with you, Zeke, not too long ago. I'll talk to John about it. Although I don't talk to him every day because he has been sick with food poisoning. The Roland curse. It gets them at least once a week.
Once a week, more like every other day.
All right, calm down.
Yeah, right. Michael's even like again.
Well, I'm convinced it's celiac because my sibling has celiac and celiac is genetically linked. I think they're in denial.
Shall we
So
throw up
this
that
one,
poll? I think we'd be a very slanted poll.
57% voted that this one is an AI agate, and you guys are correct. This one is generated by AI. So next agate, try to see if this one is real or AI. Yes, I generated these rocks based from the inspiration from the photos that we have. So I can even distinguish if this is AI or not. So I have to use a reference. I'm the one who made these, and I'm getting pretty tricked out as well.
I did give Marvin a couple that we'll look at
Yeah.
that are AI, and if you really look at the picture, they're very obviously AI. The more you look at them, though, the more you realize that it's not that hard to see the difference between AI and reality. And if you're just scrolling on Facebook, you probably would never even notice. But like if you really look at the details of the pictures, a lot they become more and more obvious when you see them. You just have to train. It's like anything. You got to train to be able to be like, all right, that's clearly AI. And there are definitely some that I'm like, dang, I can't tell. That's what he had.
40, 40 people voted that this one is a real agate, and you guys are correct. This one is a real agate.
I was ready for Marvin to be like, and you guys are wrong to call us out.
I know I was too. I really don't have a lot of fingerprint.
So this one is the next agate that you guys have to vote on. So try to see if this one is real or AI.
Do you have big? Oh my God, why are they so smooth? Did you grind them away?
I was mocking my smooth fingers because I have such a lack of a fingerprint. I mean,
Not
it's there.
mocking,
It's just
observing.
it's there. It's just very, very fine.
Formal, former? You mean current? He steals from me all the time.
So for this one, the result is a tie. 31 people
Oh,
voted real agate, and 31 people voted that it's AI. So the result is this one is real. This is a real agate. And on to the next agate.
That's a really good agate too.
And instead of voting, you guys are getting pretty good at this one. So this one, you guys are correct. It is generated by AI. You can actually tell
dang.
from the fingerprints. It's way too shiny. And also the
Zeke,
rocks.
Marvin's calling your hands dusty.
I know the insults tonight.
So on to the next agate. And send the voting. You guys voted it's a real agate, so you guys are correct. This one is a real agate. And it's Zeke Sand, and he
You
has
can tell because it's
fingerprints.
dusty.
And
Oh,
it's the end of voting. So 53% voted that it's a real agate, and 47% voted that it's an AI agate. And the real answer is that this one is generated by AI. So
yeah.
most
Zeke's
people
nail beds
voted.
look a little too good for that.
Hey,
His cuticles are a little bit too clean.
again. Hey.
Mine aren't even that clean. Mine are actually kind of brutal right now. This job is rough on the hands.
Gonna have to go
This
get a pedicure after this.
on to the
Manicure.
next
It's for
tag.
your hands, not
Oh,
your feet.
okay, manicure. all this TED Talk, and I'm like, ouch. It's funny, like TED Talk, TED Talk.
You want to polish this for me?
Like right now,
Oh,
you're so funny, Tay. You want to polish this for me?
that's on his long list, I fear, Glenn. I'll bug him, but I've been
Oh
bugging
my
him for
goodness.
quite a few things for decades at this point.
I remember doing the reverse engineer on that with John 3 years ago.
I think I did a Ray Tech a couple years ago too, just to see how it
Alright.
worked.
Stand the voting. You guys voted that this one's a real agate, and you said that the thumb is a clean giveaway. So this one is a real agate.
Should
Congratulations,
have washed
guys.
your hands, Zeke.
That's right out of the saw.
Yeah. And on to the next one.
I think Petunia is a speed demon because why does she cut faster than all of these saws?
Well, you usually put really, really tiny agates in there, but that's probably also a different gear motor.
To be fair, I don't know what gear motor is in it because I replaced that motor probably 9 years ago because it went out within the first year I had her.
And it's then the voting for this agate. You guys voted that it's an AI agate, and you guys are correct. This one is AI generated. So we have a couple of agates more. On to this next agate. Try to distinguish if this one is AI or real.
Petunia has been through it. That's indeed, she is a hot rod saw, kind of put together with spare parts at this point.
And the result for this one is that this one is an AI agate, and you guys are correct that this one is an AI. So moving forward, you guys can already distinguish if it's AI or not, right? You can already notice the difference between AI and the real agate. And this one is the last one. Try to distinguish if this one is real or AI.
Oh, people already are doing, yeah, better, a lot better just from the beginning. Well, now I know for the next one, make pretty up my hands, file the nails, smooth them out a little.
I Ironically, he scrubs with a toothbrush after right before he goes home under his nail beds and everything.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to be like all day or when you go home, like have just like crud underneath your nails.
But I wash my hands with diesel and I shower with sand.
Shower with sand.
Uh,
Uh, you could never wear gloves enough. I think the lack of gloves was explaining my hands.
It's
I'm
the end of
allergic to
voting.
half the gloves.
You guys voted that this one's a real agate, and you guys are correct. This one is a real agate. Now, we are going to show you the side-by-side comparison of the photos that we've shown you earlier, and here are the comparison of each, and try to distinguish on what you've seen earlier. So these are all
Uh,
generated based from the right photo, and the AI generated one are on the I'm sorry, it's on the left photo, and the AI generated one are on the right photo.
It is interesting to see what details AI can do and what it really struggles with. Like the top, the on the real agates, the top right, those are not cut agates, and you can look and see that they got natural faces. And on the opposing side, where it's got the that same picture, you can see that the top two are cut, but one of the cut ones has got a big chip out of it that the AI like didn't really know how to fill in. And then the whole rough nodule is like this weird ground down blob. It's not even really like an agate nodule in that picture. But that is one thing to really pay attention to in the backgrounds, makes it so much more obvious whether it's real or not. None of the AI photos have anything going on in the background. And I was thinking about this today when we were looking at these photos earlier, and that's a good observation because if you're taking photos and posting up on social media, that means that you should be putting something in the background that, makes it your brand. Like
A
that's kind of
watermark.
one of the reasons that we use that. Like I'll hold stones up in front of the cab machine and have the Highland Park logo in there, because it makes it like, oh yeah, that's more obvious.
I think also people steal content all of the time now. I've seen Highland Park Rock posted like from our website posted up on other sources. So it's always good to have differentiating aspects to your photos.
Yeah, or put an object in there for reference. Like if you use a shadow box, maybe you get a nice logo made and you leave it in the back corner of your shadow box. Um, or put your stones on something that gives them authenticity, like use the stone background. Like you're using a shadow box in your, like when we did the photography one where we talked about like putting a piece of jewelry on stones to display them, or like the cabs on different surfaces to display them, because more and more details will help make it harder and harder to tell that these are real versus fake.
We are going to show the photos to sent over Zeke, so you can give us a little bit of insight on this one.
Oh, part well, right here. This one, if you really look at the picture, it should be pretty obvious um, that you don't get perfect little mushrooms inside an agate like that.
What
Like
do
it
you
almost looks like a
mean?
painting. I was looking at pictures earlier and I was like, this one is so bad. But if you didn't know, you would never know that this is not real. And this is another point to the AI photos, is that every AI photo that we looked at had the same kind of like smooth background that was a bland color. But AI also put it on a pedestal in this one, which is pretty interesting. Gives it a little bit more look of authenticity. And I was actually impressed that the AI was able to add in a little light reflection on the edge there. So it's getting really good. Right? Could you guys, you'd need mushrooms to cut those for in real life, you know.
What the heck?
This one's not an agate, but if you look at the fingers,
Well, they could be pterodactyl. Have you ever seen The Princess Bride? He had an extra digit.
I
Polydactyl. Oh, pterodactyl, polydactyl. My bad.
was trying to figure that out. I was like, what?
Well, my bad.
This one looks like a beautiful little orange slice.
What the heck is with them with agates and fruits?
Well, agate, I mean, AI has to use something to base this off of,
And they picked fruit?
apparently. But I can tell you with 100% certainty, I've never seen an agate that looked like an orange slice. It
I'm
is a
trying to
cute
think
little
off my
agate,
top of
though.
my head. You're right. I haven't either. Well, I guess if you have a white floater and an orange agate, that's the closest you could get.
Yeah, but this one's too perfect. And again, you got the same kind of smooth, neutral background. They definitely, I think as we get more and more AI involved in things, I do think you'll have to do more and more things to make your picture authentic, with having something real in the background, or, making it harder for AI to match every little bit.
Hmm. Well, do we have another one?
Okay, so
Oh,
This
this
is a
is
very this is a video I sent Zeke. I was just scrolling on my Facebook, and something that's really common is fake AI mining. Why am I picking up on your mic? Fake AI mining videos. I see them everywhere. This one, we'll just play the video. I'll be quiet.
well, and one of the other things, I couldn't find one of the videos before the event, but one of the things I see a lot too lately is the cutting videos where someone's like at a trim saw cutting, and that part is real. Like they'll have a real person really cutting a rock there, but when they open it, they have AI cover up the face of the stone. And like the other day, I saw a peacock feather inside an agate. I've seen a honeycomb cells with like rainbow colors in there. And I've seen some of them and I was like, it looks really real. So I wanted to show you guys something in video so that you can see how capable AI is of doing the videos too. Because I was really blown away with like where they would cut an agate and it was a real person cutting the agate, and then it open it up and it'd be something ridiculously fake.
Almost like a deep fake. But this one, it's like this is a big giveaway, especially when they do these fake mining things. One, they say this is malachite. You're never gonna get surface malachite like this. Two, one thing to look out for the mining videos. Why is it picking up so bad?
It always does that with these headsets. Like every night, every
Uh,
day is normal.
Another thing that you have to work out for, and AI is really bad at this, is repeating patterns. If you look right in this screenshot, you'll see this repetitive pattern on the surface of the rock. Also, it doesn't have natural wearing. Malachite, super soft rock, it would be weathered farther in, as Zeke said, than the host rock, which is much denser and harder. So there's quite a few things you need to watch for.
Well, and it's good to help educate people too, because there's so much fake stuff out there that it's so hard to tell. Yeah, there's no weathering on this at all. That would have to be a very freshly dug face to be even remotely
Also,
close to that condition.
I just saw this. Look at the edge of the stone. It's just, it looks like it's painted because there's no depth to these.
Yeah, and I'm seeing this a lot more common. These kind of videos pop up and, fake images online. One of the things that we didn't have time to prep today, but was also just edited photos, because now I'll get really high end agates where people are like, oh man, is this AI? Because it's such a good agate. So I think that's gonna get more and more important to add background that looks real. Or well, that is real.
That
Instead of
looks
having
surreal.
instead of having clean, perfect pictures, I think it'll actually, as we see AI get worse and worse, we'll see we'll need to adjust and do more pictures that are like natural things that you would see. You're dropping a lot of things.
I dropped one. I didn't know that was what constituted a lot.
I think you've dropped like three things in the last 5 minutes.
Name another. I threw something. Doesn't count.
Oh, apparently it doesn't count for hurling them.
At you, no.
That was funny. Awesome. Well, do you guys have any team? Do you have anything else to add on that, or anything else that we wanted to show? I think you guys, you can see, you get the more you pay attention. Like everybody in here, the voting drastically got better and better as people looked at AI versus real photos. But it is pretty interesting to see. And, even a lot of people in here that have cut rocks. It was real hard to tell on some of those. There's a couple of them that I'm like, gosh, it's a good thing Marvin's keeping track because I probably would lose track. That Moctezuma one was probably. Marvin, do you have that picture again
Oh yeah, I can
of
share
the
that.
AI Moctezuma, or if you have the side by side?
Let me just.
There is software that will tell you if AI was used to create something. Yeah, do we have just that Moctezuma, the bottom left picture on the AI agates, so we can see that better? Yeah, this one right here.
Go back.
One back one, please.
Oh, that one. Or
Yeah, right
there.
there. Like this one, the agate actually looks really realistic to the real agate. The only thing this one's really missing is a real agate has some fractures in it, and it's like cleaned up a little bit more, but it looks really good for an AI image of an agate. I'm actually this one was the one I probably was the most impressed with that the AI did because it looks so natural other than the lack of fractures. But one other thing I wanted to point out, and you can get this on real agates too because it's all the way that it's polished. But if you do I have annotation privileges? Oh, I do. Uh, If you look at all the AI, this is very glitchy. Why is it not writing? Oh, it's just a lot of lag. If you look at all the AI photos, every one of them had a little bit of shiny edge somewhere in the picture along the agate. A lot of them have you can see that more and more obviously. But you can get that in real life, but that's one other thing to pay attention to when you're looking at real agates.
That's actually that little corner where you have that little roll. A lot of people do roll their edges of their agates. That's why when I was looking at that, I was like, that's not unrealistic to have in a natural polished agate where you have this little roll at the edge where you get this highlight from reflection. A lot of times it's not even on purpose. It's depending on the machine you use, it can be hard to get a perfectly flat polish, or you can get microfracturing from cuts and stuff, so they roll it to blend it. So it's not always a good indication of it.
Well, no, it's something to pay attention though too, though, because like that is impressive that AI can like even add that little bit of depth in there that you
Oh
can
yeah.
see that. Awesome, that was fun. There also, I was looking online, and I was gonna mention to you guys that I saw a lot of groups too that were dedicated to like, is this real, or AI groups. And I was like, that's it's gonna be something that becomes more and more of a problem. Let's turn the camera back on here. Shall we look at some of these chopstick agates? I figured we'd also do some real agate cutting tonight because, as we should. See, these are all. But I thought you guys
Sorry,
might.
my my computer crashed.
All right, we'll start us off with the first one here. Oh my goodness, there's so much new stuff that's come in. I can't even keep track of all of it. I haven't even seen everything yet. Tay is back, but I grabbed some of the select pieces of chopstick and no moonstone yet. I grabbed some of the select pieces of chopstick and I was like, man, I gotta cut some of these before they're completely gone. I grabbed the last of the select out of John's stash. Oh, this is another really cool one.
Oh,
Look
look
at
at the
the green in there.
greens. That's cool for a chopstick. I'm usually I'm on the fence about chopsticks. Some of them I like, a large majority of them not my favorite, but like I don't mind pilfering John's Select.
Right. And I know of the little agate pieces, we cleared that out, so now it's just that little bit of select is all that's left.
Ooh, I like
Look at the
that black
yellow
on
in
the
that
bottom.
one. Yeah, that's wicked cool. I was very excited about these. AI, that's funny. Oh, hey, there's the other half of that Alamejo we cut last night.
Ooh, that's a bright guy.
Right?
That is a weird chopstick nodule.
Yeah, it is. That's very fun though.
Huh.
And I saved the best one for last. This one, I'm like, oh, I gotta cut this piece. And when I saw the cut face on it, I was blown away. Look at that orange in there.
It almost looks like puffy, like plumy.
Yeah, that's
What
gonna
the
be a
heck?
cab. Isn't
I'd
that
assume
just
so.
crazy?
Holy
This
crap.
one's that one's regular cab thickness. The next one is for Intarsia.
We've made an addict out of him.
Just a little bit. All right. Let's throw some more agates in the other saws.
Ooh, what agates do we want to cut?
I think we should do a round of Almejo.
Ugh, you don't have to pressure me into this, you know.
He's like, oh darn, if I have
Um,
to.
let's pick with them. Bring the camera over.
Oh, okay. I should just grab a handful of ones I want to cut.
Yeah, but I think it's fun to show like our thought processes individually.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Because we cut we cut with different philosophies. I like this one because although it's in general, I like this smooth surface here. But what I like is there's a little bit of red coming out there. So that's one. This one's kind of a no-brainer. But these are ones that I'm tempted to dome instead of cut. That's the cool one. You can see red coming through. It has that smoother skin. Then I'll hand these off to Zeke to cut. Huh.
So what?
I was handing some of these off to you to cut.
Yes, but then you went, huh?
Oh, I was looking at an agate. Oh, this one is kind of, it's heavy, nondescript. I like it though. A lot of, I've said this quite a bit. Agate cutting is very intuitive. We can give you what to look out for, where not to cut in an agate, and like optimum based on statistics of how many we've cut, what a yield is. But a lot of it you have to listen to your gut. And that's a hard thing to teach. Isn't that right, Zeke?
Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier. If you have to teach the concept, not the exact piece
That's a good one.
necessarily, because it's not, if you have to learn on every piece, then you're not really learning. You need to have the concept so that you can do it when like someone's not there to be like cut right here.
Also, like, you're gonna hit ones like this that are quartz balls that you won't know. No matter how many agates you cut and how good you get at reading rock, you will always cut duds.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter the agate. You were gonna cut duds if you cut agates. That's
This one,
partly what makes it fun.
if you can see what I don't necessarily want to cut, look at that fault line in it. That may be a fracture. Sometimes it's inert, but most of the times when you have a line like that through an agate, it's a fracture. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at this face and I'm going to cut parallel to that fracture.
Oh, this is a really good agate too. We have some more really killer condor to go through as well.
Do you
But
want to turn off Petunia?
I prepped up a couple good things tonight. You guys want to dig through that the last of that chopstick select tonight? Yeah, it's not quite done. Did you show him this Laguna?
Not yet, because I was running my saw. This is a Laguna I just cut, what, 10 minutes ago? I've bragged about it somewhat, but Petunia has probably cut more high-end agates than any other Highland Park saw circulating the globe.
This is out of the bin over there. I got some premium if you guys want to do tote out of that too tonight. We got some really good pieces.
Show how I cut that one, because there a lot of them are like this. Grab it
It,
again, buddy. Oh,
I
you
already threw it in the
fiend.
oven.
Okay, it's gonna be a little
Uh,
dirty. He's on top of it. So a lot of the Lagunas, you're not gonna see the color right away. This one I had a tiny bit of an indication. If you look through here, this is siderite all through this face. But I had it was like mostly white, and I had this to go off of. The other side, not so much. I had a little bit of red popping through, but as you can see, there's no red to show. But these ones, you like skirting. I love butterflying ones. And I was kind of of the mindset for this one. If it didn't work out, I was going to cab it anyways. Because I'm very much, if I cut something, I want to make the most amount of money on what I'm cutting. I'm not rich enough to be able to just cut rock and throw it away. And I'm also not wasteful enough. What are you getting? The microbes of oil? My goodness.
You made me touch the oil absorbent with oily hands. I had to get all the little gritty bits off because it feels disgusting.
You hear this guy?
I also cut a piece of flame agate because we're down to the last little bit of that too. Another material you can't get anymore.
Like oh.
Isn't that just stunning?
Did you tighten this crossfeed?
Yes.
Holy,
I made it.
yeah. Did you frickin' ever?
I made it so that there was no slop in it.
No slop and no flexibility. You really got it good. You always know it's going to be a fun day when I get a text from Zeke being like, hey, don't freak out. I tore apart one of the 12 SSs that are on the floor.
Hey, at least I gave you a heads up.
For the labels for the tote night, that is temporary. Probably by next week, I will have that fixed. The reason why there's not labels with the totes is because we were implementing a new system and building a software that will auto print the labels with your tote. We do not have that going yet. So in the meantime, there's going to be a little bit of a gap with tote nights don't come with labels because I'm hand picking and doing all of the order processing. And I'm prioritizing getting orders out ASAP instead of having a very long wait and backing up like we did. No more of that. Those
The
labels
the
will
orange
be back.
the orange labels were just temporary. They're significantly more expensive. We only used those because we ran out of labels one time.
Oh yeah, the orange labels were actually my expensive labels used for koshing things. I got pilfered. But if there is any questions in the meantime, if you receive something, you're like, hey, what's this? Just at me on Facebook, in the Highland Park Rough Rock, and I can answer all your questions.
Or you can send us an email. Or if you send it to the team, they can pass it along to us as well.
Tay, agates you find yourself can be the most cost effective. Finding good agate spots may make you go to other states. That is true. I've actually done very little rock hounding.
See, I would actually disagree with that statement. After spending
Yeah.
years and years and years out in the desert digging rocks, you'll do way better if you buy high-end rough and sell, high-end pieces than digging. And you definitely can find nice stuff, but in my experience, unless you have some crazy good deposit, it's usually better to buy high-end pieces.
I I really don't rock hound. Believe it or not, I grew up on the East Coast, and the four things you could really rock hound here are tourmalines, garnets, and herkimers within close distance. Lepidolite. Those are kind of your top three here. Granite, if you're really feeling frisky. Um, but I call myself rock privileged because I grew up with Highland Park. If I wanted to go rock hounding, I'd walk into the warehouse and look at a barrel.
Well, and seeing so I'll put it this way. I've been digging in hundreds of amazing locations, and I've met miners from all over the world. The people that make the best money are never the people that out walking around in the desert looking for rocks. And it's because it's so much labor, and you spend so long digging for stuff that I like digging rocks. I love to go rock collecting, but The last time I went rock collecting, I went and dug tourmalines and lepidolite up in Maine, and then I went to the rock shop and bought all the stuff that I wanted to find because I knew I was not going to find as good of stuff. It is really fun to go digging though.
Ooh, wait, I cut these. Get out of the way, Luther.
Oh, you did not cut this. This
Oh,
is the a piece of the chopstick select that I cut.
I was talking
Really
about.
killer piece. You know, look at that too. Like some of these are crazy when you start getting into them.
Oh,
Would you like to show this one?
no, you can.
Tay's like, actually, I don't want to get my hands dirty. I'll just stand here new and all.
This one I had a good feeling about. I told you cutting agates is intuitive. There's no windows here. Oh, there's a little one. I lied.
It's like first face you turn window. Hey team, what was the Almejo deal we did last night?
Look
That
at
is a
her.
crazy good agate. Not on the doming agates. I
Another
didn't put
one for the
a
collection.
minimum weight. No, you don't have to top off. I mean, we certainly can pick you out more if you want to top off, but you don't have to.
Ugh. Eh. Hmm.
This one's better than Tay gave it credit for. It's just got a little blade muck on it.
Eh. I'm picky. What can I say?
It definitely shows you how crazy they can be from one side to the other. That would be a fun cabbing piece on the left side.
Did I really cut nothing in my saw? I left Petunia to run dry. But I happy I cut a. Oh my gosh, the TV's not facing us. I cut something I like tonight. That's what I care about. I when I do cut run my saw, I like going until at least cut one thing I like.
Well, even a bad day cutting rocks beats a good day doing just about anything else. So
Ooh, this one I like though.
yeah, that's
Another.
a very, very good agate.
And what? How many cents is a like what? You get uh 30 almejos in a pound or something like that?
They
20?
average between 10 and 30, depending on the size of the agate.
Yeah, there you go. So if you get 10 a pound, that's what, $2 a rock? Is it $20 a pound? Or
$20 a pound.
yeah, so if you get 10 in a thing, look, 2 out of 5, nice and killer. And you saw we weren't super picky through it. If you get up
The,
to
the,
30, you're paying cents. And I'm gonna probably, if I polish up that first one we cut, I could probably sell it for 120 on the low end. There you go. I could buy 6 more pounds of Almejo. And that's called
we're past
cost efficiency.
cost efficiency. Okay. You know what we're gonna cut next? We're gonna cut some condors.
I love cutting chats, mainly because I love chatting, but I also love cutting rock.
Okay.
Okay, why is that your go-to? Get a new saying.
Because
Snazz it
it's
up a little
funny.
bit.
Because it's funny and I enjoy it.
Eh,
Like you never hear people instead of saying okay, they say okay. Like okay.
no.
Exactly, Ed. And so that's why I enjoy doing it because it's funny.
Why are there Moroccans mixed into this stuff?
I do not know.
There's like a lot of Moroccans mixed in.
Yeah, a lot of people call me Zekri.
What about the Ziquette?
No.
Oh, well, something new.
Yeah, the mic came from because Tyson, we FaceTime with Tyson, and he was like, he couldn't really see me. He was like, "Hi, Mike," and it was really funny when I stuck my head all the way in the screen. I was like, "I'm not Mike." He was like, "Oh, hi, Zeke." Oh, that's gonna be a fun agate. You can see a little bit poking out right there, and a nice window right there. We'll just come down and cut between those.
I will say, I did get called Taylor for a hot second in school.
Oh, that could stick.
No.
I could see you as a tailor.
I got called Taylor because a teacher of mine told me she didn't want to bother pronouncing my name. Fourth
Okay,
grade was a
Taylor.
fun time. Mrs. McDonough was my biggest enemy.
I'm sorry. She was harassing you about your name, and her last name was what again?
Mrs. McDonough, and there was this joke because she was a really strict teacher that people would be like, Mrs. McDonough, na na, na 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 na. You guys can't hear Zeke's laugh. It doesn't pick up on the mic.
That's so funny.
Elementary school was a fun
That's
time.
gonna be a really sweet agate.
What else do you have here?
Nothing. There's nothing sitting there. I don't know what
That
you're
would be a
talking
good
about.
doming, yeah. I'm
Yeah, these are
looking
all
through
condors.
Zeke's stuff if I want to cut it.
There is a bit of Moroccans there.
I know.
Thanks, Gregory. Yeah, that Almejo is so much fun. If you guys are like, I want to get into agate cutting, and especially if you're just getting started, the Almejos are the best bang for your buck because they're the most affordable and the highest yield agate you can get. So it's like a double whammy for them because they're really fun to cut and you can get a lot of them for pretty cheap.
I just like how the yield is extraordinarily high on those. Huh. Sometimes I want to drink out of the bottles on the Intarsia machines like a straw, like a gerbil.
All right. That's not where I thought that was going, but let's not. But
Oh, I
like if you
wasn't
guys
planning
didn't
on it,
see
but
if you guys didn't see, like here's one of the really nice Almejos we cut tonight.
who's we?
Well, girl, look at that purple and yellow and orange mix. You don't have to cut a lot of them to get one that nice either.
Nope. Show the skin on this one. These are my favorite skins to cut where it's kind of that smoother skin. I like them. I
I
love
like
cutting
it.
and
I
chatting.
love it. I want some more of it. That one's another one that looks like it's gonna be really good. One of my favorite things is to do a little country, and then Tay will get hooked on it. She can't help but not pick it up.
This feels like weaponizing.
A little bit.
I don't know. So when my uncle used to come visit when I was a kid, we'd call him Silly Uncle John, yada yada yada. But what he used to do, and he still does it sometimes to this day, is he'd get a fake pair of those fake teeth, like the busted up redneck fake teeth, and he'd do a character where he did this most because he lived in Texas for 20 odd years, so we picked up the accent. You'll hear it a little bit, but he did this most hick country Ohio cornbread accent with these teeth. Absolutely. If you ever get to meet John, you'll really see his humor. Oh my God.
Oh, you know what we gotta do is cut some of that condor seam agate.
Yeah.
That's really fun stuff. Oh, before I wash my hands, let me go show you guys the next slice off that flame agate. I don't know. You guys want to dig through some flame agate tonight? I'll have to show you a piece here.
And there's very little flame agate left.
Yeah, what's in that bin is left.
You said you wanted to see some seam agate. Flame agate is a seam, technically.
It is.
Oh, look at the purples in that.
I
The
know, it's so
purples, the
good.
blacks, the reds.
I got another piece sitting here too that we should cut up.
I'm thinking the seam with lines. Well, there's some lines in this. They're the little flames.
Yeah, this is the Mexican flame agate. That's such a pretty piece. And let's see. I got two more pieces here. I'm thinking we cut the one. I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one? Left or right? I like both of them.
I like the fat one.
That'd be the right one.
I don't know my rights and lefts.
This is right. This is left. I thought about messing with Tay and going that the backwards, but
I would have believed it.
I don't know. What was the consensus in the chat? I'm kind of leaning towards
Then,
the left
yes,
one.
left, left. I think the left one is it.
Yeah.
Lawrence said AI.
AI. That's funny.
Are you not butterflying that? Well, you don't want to butterfly
Uh,
a sea maggot like this because you're just going to cut through the you're not going to get the pattern for flame.
yeah, this one would not look good cut the other way. Not like it will this way. Now, a piece of Idaho sunset, that's a different story.
You get that cool pooling.
All right, let me wash my hands.
What do you mean by that, Mark? He's just cutting it in half for a specimen. You can. The thing is, when you do cut it like this, you can slab it either way. You can cut it in half because, or slab it.
I
It
put
really depends what you're going for.
I did put it in so that we could take some slices off.
There you go. Because especially if you put it in that way, you can cut it in half and then you slice it down to your specimen size. You can also do intarsia pieces out of it. They're really good for borders.
I do love to tighten the vise on the saw and then listen to Tay go, who tightened this thing?
No, because he doesn't like tighten it like a normal person. He decides to use his little grimy grippers to tighten it so hard. I swear he's gonna bend, like stretch the threads on the vise. Anyways, that's my rant of the day. Let's look at these
You know,
rocks.
I've never actually broken a vise on a saw.
Yeah, only like my joints when I try to undo it.
That's so funny. This is a really good one.
Ooh, that's some nice color.
Ella. Yeah, that's a beautiful condor. We could do a tote out of condor if you guys want to do a tote out of the condor.
I I don't mind gravity feeds, but I have so much anxiety with them. Also, I've used gravity feeds that sucked. Holy moly. But they're the really old saws from like the 60s, so.
Oh yeah, this one was a sad one. It looks so good on the skin. There's no windows, and then bleh, in the tumbler
A
it goes. Well, what's great about the Great Western saws, because I'm not a fan of gravity feed saws either, but the Great Western saws are so good because they have a hydraulic dampener in there. Because like if you don't have the hydraulic dampener in there, the rock will be going through your blade, and when it gets to the end there, it just and it takes the last little bit of the rock and rakes it across the blade. With the Great Western saws, they got the hydraulic dampener in there, so it'll just slow release all the way through the cut and not have that problem. That's why they're
Hmm.
so good. And John's done the design on those. It's just a matter of getting them done.
Like designing and engineering it, that's the easy part, as John says. Finding suppliers, manufacturing, and fabrication is the hard part. What's this?
That's a cute little agate.
Ooh. Now, that is an interesting. It looks like a balloon animal on that one side, kind of.
Luna. I can see what you're saying. That's funny.
Yeah, like those balloon dogs. You feel me?
That's so funny. Oh, this one looks like it's going to be really good too.
Ooh, that is a weird floater.
That's really fun. I like that agate a lot.
That fill tube also is pretty cool. My back has been doing a lot better now that I've gotten a heating pad that goes under my back half of the night. That's on a timer. It helps the muscles a lot. I am taking NSAIDs to help with inflammation, and specifically, I haven't been standing for long periods of time. That really helps.
And another kind of disappointing one after that first one. Although what's unique about this condor is it's got shadow. So a lot of people might discard this one and be like, eh. But because it's had a shadow, it's actually still a decent agate for a condor because it's so rare to get shadow in condors.
Wait, also look at the bands moving inside that blue. I can see it on my screen, which isn't the best. You can see that, right? They're like the very milky shadow.
Well, I just know that a lot of people would be not that excited about this agate at first, but the more you look at this agate, it's like, oh, that's actually a pretty good little agate.
I agree. Huh, that's a lot of shadow in those little bands, though.
That's actually out of all the ones we cut, obviously the first one's my favorite, but that would be a very close second. All right,
I
let's throw a
sleep on
random.
tennis balls right now, or laundry balls. They're really comfy.
Let's
I've
throw a
heard
random
lacrosse
Mozambique
balls
in.
is the next one. I'm
Lacrosse balls.
I got told tonight I could yap about what I want. It was my free range night.
That is not really what I said, but
Yeah, well. Oh, oh, thank you, Glenn. My dad just, instead of calling me a comedian, calls me annoying, but tit for tat. Ugh.
I
Um,
don't know that you've ever really like been annoying.
oh wow, thanks.
This one's obviously a good one. We got to take a slice off that face right there.
I was gonna pick through a couple of these because I love these. I love the colors of the Mozambiques. I love the texture. I think they're easy to work with. You can get crazy shadow. You can get these fluffy little pom-poms. You can get tubes. You can get needles. You can get waterline. Like they're such a cool, multifaceted agate.
We just refilled the tote and I was oohing and awing at it, going, holy crap, this is nice. Now, this one, the bottom here is waterline. So if you cut too close to the bottom here, you're just going to end up with a flat plane of color. And it's going to have a fortification up at this end. So we're going to cut across at a steep angle away from those water lines.
This is Mozambique agate.
The
We
ones
can
that we're
also
putting in
look
the
at.
saw, no, for everybody to be clear, the ones we're putting in the saw are specimen grade. The Mozambique capping and tumbling is going to be a lot more broken pieces, but there is some hole
Broken, smaller.
nodules. I was looking at there. There's also some that are like crazy good pattern that should be in the capping select. I don't think that bin really got sorted out. So I'm like, gosh dang, y'all should be going crazy on that bin.
Any word on the saw blade loudness comparison test?
We haven't done like a video, but the notch trim is significantly quieter than any of
This
the other
also
blades that we've tried.
it also depends on the saw you have because my Petunia is the loudest saw in this building, regardless of what blade I put on her.
That is because Petunia is cutting a little bit fast and uh see now this one is a little tempting because I want to cut it the correct way if it didn't have that fracture would be to cut this direction, but it's got a decent fracture running like that. And so I'm more tempted to cut it through the valley because while you do run a high risk of getting a fracture cutting through the valley, you're guaranteed to get a fracture cutting right through there. So on this one, I'd be tempted to come and cut off this end over here, even though well, a fracture runs through that way too. We're gonna have to break some rules for this agate. We're gonna have to cut it at like a really steep angle like that to get away from that fracture. So
The one
normally
thing
we would not
about oh, I was going to talk
normally
about I'm going to talk about running saws fast.
can,
Ah,
can I say one thing first? Then you can talk about
sure.
surrounding so fast. Um, Normally we would not cut through the valley because you're almost guaranteed to get a fracture there. But with this one, we know we can see that it's already got a fracture through that area, which is why we're going to choose to cut through the valley on this one. Go ahead, Tay.
All right. Back to cutting rock fast on saws. So, as you know, most saws, not all, but most, you have different speed settings. You have a three-stage pulley on 16s, 18s, 20s, 24s, 36s. You have to be careful about cutting on the fastest setting, that biggest pulley. The reason why you have to be careful
Smallest.
is, sorry, smallest. I don't know. You know what I meant. The smallest pulley on the three step. When you cut that fast, especially if you're cutting a hard material, you risk dishing your blade at a much higher and faster rate because you're just pushing hard material and there's a lot of pressure on that blade. And rock is harder than metal. Metal is actually much more flexible and you can dish your blade. If you're running green lines, good thing about the green lines, they're not tension core. You can hammer those buggers back into place. For the tension core, the
Any other blade,
segmented
basically.
or any other blade. I did see a comment when I was looking on Facebook that someone's like, "Oh, metal has memory, just take a torch to it and it will bend back." For the tension cord blades, although that's not 100% false. You can, it depends on one, degree that you flexed it out, and two, type of blade in metal. It is dangerous. I do not recommend any ever doing that.
It's
Once
almost impossible to get it back when you're doing it that way.
you have to be very talented in it, and once you dish a tension core, I'd recommend just ditching the blade. It's
Now,
kind
one
of,
thing you can do to help prevent dishing your blade is flipping it over. So if you're cutting, the blade's cutting this direction, take it off and flip it over. Because if you're getting a
mhm.
dish this way, you can pull the dish back through cutting. And if it's not bad, if it's really badly dished, then, you're just out of blade. If it's a little
You
dish,
also,
then you can correct it.
and also with the dish blade, you don't just risk hurting like your rock or your cuts and stuff. You can cut into, if it's dished enough, you can start cutting into your vise. Uh, which is never a fun thing. Not the end of the world, easily fixable, but I do not recommend.
Which is exactly what Sherman and I got in trouble with John for because we were running the saws at a speed that would void the warranty. And at not just the factory speed, like we had doubled the fastest factory speed. And we had cut into the vise. a tad bit. That one is not quite finished.
Yep.
It's
A lot.
just so
I was gonna say a lot of this test lab is running our machines to the hardest you can possibly run them, testing how they survive that. And the one thing I love
I
about
do.
these saws, you can replace any part of them. Pretty much. Sometimes.
Yeah, as long as the frame of the saw is good, then there's you can pretty much fix anything else.
I built a saw from parts. Me, Sherman, and John used to build all of the saws. Petunia was built out of parts. Though I still build or rebuild saws. Not as often as I'd like to. The only
All
thing that
right.
you can't rebuild well or easily is the tank. Hood's replaceable. The tank is where you get a little bit tricky if you completely rust out your tank. But even then, there's a lot of tanks you can buy.
Get the surveyors back out here.
Tearing up property lines through my wrinkles. Nowhere's safe.
Now we're safe. That's so funny. Well, dang, we are starting off real good.
Let's see. What do we have here?
Now, especially take notice of the window right there and how bland that is because we can't see that deep into the agate yet. Even that window's really not that great.
Ooh, it's like a century egg.
That's a pretty sweet little agate. That is really nice. The Mozambiques can definitely surprise you with how good they can be sometimes when you're least expecting it.
Let's see what's going on with this one. Who is she? What's her profession?
I love all the
Ooh,
eyes.
look at that holly leaf kind of vibe. Not exactly because it's more eyes than holly leaf. That's
Lots of
cool.
eyes in that one. Yeah, that's a good little agate. Oh man, we are killing it on the Mozambiques tonight. This is that one that we ended up cutting through the valley because of the fracture. So we had to take a little gamble there, and it looks like our gamble paid off.
If you love purples, Brian recently was asking a friend of his, he's like, "Do you have purple agate?" And I always talk about before you ask, do you have XYZ in what color agate? What's your price range? Because that's probably your most indicative value on agates. But this, if you love purples and pinks, this is for you.
I really like when you get the blue in there too. That's an interesting one.
Ah, you,
Is that one
it's
you could we talked about the water line, and you can see you got some of that in there still.
you yick to the water line. You should have probably like maybe cut it at a little bit more of an angle.
Yeah, a little bit higher up. Or turned it so instead of there, turned it a little bit
12s.
more.
All of these stainless steel saws are the 12s. I call them the army.
The army. They do look good all lined up.
But my baby, my general, she's right behind you.
General. Oh, Tay, that's funny. Oh, Oh, well, this one we knew was going to be good, but it's nice to see it cut.
Ugh, love a good internal water line. It's so clean. Like that is just a beautifully clean agate. And
And
one
I
thing I
love the
like
little
about it,
dots.
turn this to the side. One thing I like about these hot dog shaped ones is you can slab a little and medallion this up if you really want to make cabs and stuff. Like that's what I like about the longer ones because that's usually a pretty consistent pattern until you get to the edge.
Yeah, that's a
Ugh.
nice agate.
Did I cut anything in my saw? Oh no,
No,
I took out that Moroccan, that shadow Moroccan.
you want to do a round of agates with them?
What kind of agate should I cut? Any votes? I always love my Moroccans. I
I
lean
mean,
back towards them.
you don't have to if you don't want to, Tay. Don't make it sound like a punishment. The look of getting. Well, there you
Zeke's
go.
agates.
6 seconds.
Also, Zeke, someone asked about the shows. Is it better to leave fill your tables with like items or leave some empty spaces?
There's a happy medium of where it looks lush and bright and colorful and inviting, and a very thin line of where you cross over into this feels like a cluttered rock shop.
And one thing I always like pointing out about shows, be ready, you will lose some products to the finger discount sometimes. So if you really love a piece and you are, uh, I would not put it out on an area that is unprotected.
Um, with something that we should do again is like do a show setup, cut and chat. Because it is a lot of fun to do shows, but like display is definitely an area I see a lot of people failing. Because like I'll go to booths where people like they have great stuff and they're like people have been walking by all day, they don't even stop and look. And I look at their table and I'm like, yeah, because it looks like you dumped out a 5 gallon bucket of crap on your table. I'm like, there's so much stuff here you can't even see what's going on. Or they'll have so many things this like cluttered together. You're like, I don't want to touch anything because I'm gonna knock something over.
Hmm.
Yep, that's on our calendar for March.
There
How
you
Ooh,
that
how
go.
we're gonna show.
exciting.
You just have to
Maybe
confirm
we
the
should.
date.
You could also cut some more Lagunas if you want to.
Oh my God, that's a great idea. I was gonna cut a seam agate because I want to do
Oh,
tarzan of
that's
that.
fun.
I like this is one I think I want to dome.
Oh, I'm gonna keep one of the saws for doing a piece of the, while you look at those agates, I'm gonna grab a piece of the seam agate to cut for the, through the seam instead of with the seam.
All right.
Because we said we were gonna show that.
Did I?
Well, you didn't, but I did.
I was like, I don't remember giving any promises. How about a cut and chat on organizing a specimen cabinet? That would be interesting, Zeke.
That would be a fun cut and chat.
My specimen closet is what's the term?
Was it?
Well, it's a glass cabinet. It's like one of those retro 50 style glass cabinets. It's green, obviously.
Obviously.
My entire room is green. It's for the ambiance.
Obviously.
Okay, Zeke, you haven't even unpacked from moving here 3 years ago. Don't get on me.
Yes, I have.
Uh-huh.
I'm unpacked now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Got a little piece of the Idaho Sunset Deposit 2. And most people would just come and cut like this with the seam. But we're gonna cut through it this direction. And the Deposit 2 especially, this is my favorite seam to do this with.
I'm gonna pick some easy ones for me.
Taking the easy way out.
Yeah. Take just a couple. Figure out what I want.
You think I could talk Sherman into the $5,000 mineral case that I want so that we can do that cut and chat?
No.
Oh.
Love you, Zeke. No.
Aw.
Have fun writing that off. You can.
Oh, we didn't show this flame agate either. Well, Tay's still over there digging. Let's look at that.
Hmm.
I also want to polish up one of those agates to show you guys. So this was the piece that we cut of the Mexican flame agate. Isn't that really cool?
I think it would be good that we do like a specimen like display stuff, but $5,000 is a hard bargain.
I actually have a mineral cabinet that we can bring here and it can live here to do
Well,
that
Zeke
with.
basically lives here. I have to tell him not to show up at 2 in the morning. Have you ever had to fight your like an employee and be like, you cannot be here at 3 in the morning?
It's wildly unfair.
Liability.
It's okay, we only worked till 4 a.m. last night.
All right. They don't go home. Even if I tell them to, they show back up. It's like
There
the
was one night
disease.
where Jordan and I stayed late and we were getting stuff done. And it wasn't as long as the day as Tay and I did, but it was like 5:30 when we realized what time it was in the morning. And we were like, crap, we better go home before people start showing up.
Like so like I'm so thankful to have I the team here is fantastic. But sometimes I would like not to be woken up with alerts on my phone about someone in the warehouse and getting my security alerts.
That's so funny.
Gotta be safe. I say as I have done the same thing. Hey Zeke, I'm
Yeah.
right now doing a technically challenging cut.
Ooh, that's fun.
Come hither.
I thought you were just making it. Tay's like a little kid. Zeke, I'm doing a technically challenging cut. There was not a like come hither or come help me or come look at this. It was just a like a little kid announcement. It's funny.
This one's not it. This is
Oh,
just a normal agate.
I think you might want to put that a little higher in the device.
I like how he just says what I'm actively doing. No, I don't
I
want to
was
do it.
harassing you because it's so high up there.
Well, I'm putting it high up. I want because you have eroded the wood. Are you talking, Zeke?
No.
Oh,
Would you
why
like me to
not?
talk?
Fill the void of silence. Entertain our lovely viewers.
You know, we do have bins that have absorbent in them so that we do not have to put the oily rocks on the table.
Huh?
You
What
cut
can
that
the
Moroccan you cut that Moroccan agate and left it all oily on the table.
Well, yeah, because they don't want to put it in the bins with thousands of rocks in them.
Oh, well, too late. It
You
doesn't have
son of a
thousands of
gun.
rocks in it. I'm setting up or I'm putting a 220 belt on the wet belt sander because I want to clean up one of these agates. So you
Hmm.
guys can see how nice it is without the 60 grit grinding on it.
This is going to be a
Although
challenging cut to complete, honestly, Zeke.
this 220 grit belt is very worn. Do we have more belts that I can steal yet, or are we still in a
Nope,
hiatus?
you gotta wait. I have a shipment coming, but it's just lost. I have been on the phone with FedEx, UPS, ABF. I've been fighting the fights with all of the shipping companies because they are awful. How do you tell me, yeah, the box is empty, and then the picture is it torn apart?
The
All
box is
right.
empty because
I
we
wonder
lost everything.
why.
That's so funny.
Or your package wasn't delivered. And I check where it is. And they sent it to the wrong side of the country.
I
I
said, do
got
that again,
mad.
Tay. Do that again, Tay. Yeah, that was funny. All right. So this is one of these beautiful agates. And you can see, I mean, it's not wet yet, but you can see how hard it is to see the face of the agate with like that. And even wet, it still can be a little challenging. I'm gonna go turn on the water and we'll clean this one up so that you can see how much better these agates are.
I don't think anyone hates shipping companies more than I do right now.
I'm sure we can find somebody.
Maybe. My favorite one is when they lose a package and they go, "What do you want us to do? Find it."
All right, I'm gonna get it wet so you guys can see. Even wet, like that's a nice looking agate, but I think you guys are gonna be even more blown away when we get a little bit better. Let me get a tad bit more water here.
Uh, and I like that. Well, uh,
Um, couldn't you just add salt to the barrel?
hypothetically, yeah, salt would
That way you're not dealing with something that's toxic and it's cheap, readily available. You can just wash it out. You're not worried
I
about
don't
having to go and dump it.
I don't recommend using the salt with the additives though. Don't use street salt. That's how you start degrading your stuff.
Gotta ask John if the rubber is salt safe.
I think my two favorite shipping stories that I hear on a regular are hey, we won't get to you. Our truck broke down. That happens very often at this point. Or they just lose it, and you're like, hey, what's going on with this? And they just go, I don't know. Did you label it? And it's a
Did
fight.
you label it?
I'm like, yeah, you scanned it in. Or the most recent one is putting on a different label over top of my label so it goes to a completely different person.
Like the kitchen table?
What?
Oh, you didn't hear about the person that got a kitchen table instead of a 10 TSS?
Oh, yeah. Like I ship it with a label and then it gets to the distribution center and they put a different label on it and it goes to a random person who's never bought from us and they're like, "Hey, I got your customer's rock." And then when I finally get the thing back, I have to peel off their sticker and look at mine. A fight, an absolute fight. Oh, look what I found in my pocket today.
Oh, that's cool.
I
No,
don't know where it came
Jerry,
from.
you bought the 16, right? Yeah, so with the 16 and the Everclean, it'll come with everything that you need to set that up. I think you might be headed a little slow there. Here, will you shut that off before you turn it on?
Why?
So I can take that end plate off.
Oh.
Yeah, gonna need a wrench or something. But that's the leathers was starting to come up. I think
I
that
wasn't
got
gonna use
really
it
wet.
anyways. I don't think I'm not gonna polish this with cerium.
Well, no, I just didn't want to fling off.
That's my favorite part of the cut and chat, where I can just cut and chat.
Cut and chat. So that's just with 220 grit. But you can already see how much nicer that agate is. That wasn't even a good 220 grit. That is a worn 220 grit. Let's see.
What a weird shape I picked.
That one's a Laguna that I was working on. This piece right here. The one I just grabbed is a Moctezuma. Yeah, as they stretch sometimes, you can see them lose their traction a little bit, or stretch and change the tracking. They just adjust the handle.
B and C were
That was
just
pretty.
talking about food.
I love moose.
Moose kind of scare me.
They should.
There goes my thumbnail. It was nice knowing you.
What you do to your thumb?
Oh, I just shaved it off.
Oh. Good night, Michael.
Good night. I also have an early morning.
Yeah, I don't think we'll do too much more tonight.
No. We'll do a little bit more agates, maybe. Do a little bit of the cut and chef. Right now, I'm working on a cab. I don't know where this came from. I just found it in my pocket of a jacket I haven't worn for like 6 months.
Someone gifted that to you last time we were in Tucson.
Oh. Why can you not remember things I told you literally today, but you remember that? What the heck?
It's really about the texture and hardness of the stone. What polish you use works best.
The porosity.
Oh, I can grab a bin. That bin over the what we loaded up today looks so darn good. Hey, for everybody that's in the room, if you guys love and enjoy what we do, like hanging out with us, we'd really appreciate it if you guys could leave us a 5-star Google review. Those really do help us out, and of course, we love reading them. And if you don't think we deserve a 5-star Google review, send Lizelle a message why. I mean, I'll review them with Lizelle, but at least if Lizelle has them, they'll be nice and organized.
I love cut and chats because it's the few times I can actually work on rock and work on my projects that I've been wanting to work on for months. Yeah, he's doing this, so you can watch me cab this. I am getting soaking wet though, because I'm using an expanding wheel.
And you're wearing no apron.
Yeah.
Where'd the phone? Oh, you have it. I was like, what the
Okay.
heck?
See, this is what I'm working on.
Oh, you guys want to see the moss agate? It has not been running. It's only run for maybe about 14 hours. It's sitting here. I gotta clean the pan out and start it again because I've been just letting it sit. It's not perfectly flat yet because it was such a high spot in there, and it got turned off and didn't get run. But if you guys want to see that, I can show you the progress on that piece.
I know this is like I don't know exactly what this is. I was given it.
Let's see.
It's hard.
It's malachite with probably tannerite in it from Mexico. It's still the camera. We still have some of the Mexican flame agate left. Not much, but some. All right, man. It is significantly flatter than when we started. You cannot feel the big waviness to it, but it's not gotten all the way to the edge yet. You can actually see that a little bit. See how the edge is a little bit more frosted still? And then you can see over here, it's still got some frosting. But that is such a nice piece of moss agate. This is some of the moss agate from Idaho. That's so funny.
What is?
I said Jeffrey was like, I like frosting because Jeffrey will be on here eating an ice cream, while we're doing the cut and chat. It's like, oh, all right. Now, because we're not ready to change grits yet, I'm not going to really clean this, but we can wipe the muck out of this thing. before we start it again. Take out our little rock chips.
Oh, I hate it when you have a flat surface.
Elaborate on what you mean by flat surface.
Oh, I just to the edge of my piece, I have flat spot.
Oh, like on your cab.
Yeah, I hate going
I'm
back and
like, did I
fixing
leave
them.
something on the table, or are you talking about a flat spot in the cab?
Hello.
Ooh, the pan actually looks really nice now that it's starting to get lapped too. Now, if I was actually cleaning this out for um, starting the next grit, I would add more water and I would start scrubbing it, and I would use a shop vac to suck out all of the mucky water. But we're not going to change the grit yet because I want this piece to be perfectly flat. And it is a huge area to flatten out. I'm actually really impressed. Like, I know it may seem like 14 hours is a long time for that to run and still not be flat. But if you guys could like really see how bad that cut was to how flat it is now, it's actually really impressive. And if you're doing something much smaller, it would be a lot faster. We don't need to get this perfect. I just wanted to get some of this muck out of here because we literally, like, that's how much of this one rock that we have ground off is that all this mud is literally from this one rock. Team, can you read the questions? Like, I didn't see what was asked. You're muted, Tay.
Sorry, I was talking to my dad. He was telling me what the plan is for tomorrow. Um, Someone said, "Who spilled coffee in the reciprocating lap?"
Oh,
Use a shot vac, not getting anywhere with paper towels.
yeah, I've soaked up the majority of it.
Bring
It was,
trash closer.
you guys are funny. That is why I'm kind of like scooping into one spot, and so I can get all that mud out. But we don't really need this to be clean because we're just going to put it back in with 80 grit.
I spent the most amount of time on the 600 grit wheel. What about you, Zeke?
You should be spending the most amount of time on your 220, or if you're using a 280 wheel, that's where the most amount of
I'm
time should be
avoiding it
spent.
right now. I'm avoiding the 220 because it sprays me with so much water and I don't want to struggle putting on an apron.
You're also working with something incredibly soft.
Yeah, I need to take off very little bits at a time.
There we go. We can see into the pan a little bit. One more smudging of mucky paper towel, and we'll have 90% of that out of there. Okay, we'll do one more after this one. I'll
One
get
more
the
what?
handful of muck.
No.
What usually causes the orange peel, Zeke? Oranges.
Or
I
it depends on the stone. Um, but like with jade, if you get it hot or don't have enough water, it'll cause the orange peeling. Um, so you want to watch out for that. You can also get like undercutting where if you have a lot of stone, like where like a stone with a lot of different hardnesses, you can get a little bit of that as well. So you got to be careful. Sometimes if you're too aggressive with your polishing, you can grind down soft spots in it. I wish we had a way to show like pressure, like how hard are you really pushing on a stone? Because that's
I'm
one thing
pretty
that I
sure
feel like
we
is
have
really hard
pressure
to teach.
gauges.
Well, it's one thing I feel like is really hard to teach is like how much pressure am I using? And I'm not using the same pressure all the time. Like sometimes if I have a stone with two different hardnesses, I'm not pushing the same hardness on both sides of the stone necessarily.
Yeah, that is true.
John is designing a small Everclean, a mini Everclean.
Sherman asked me if I'd ever put it on Petunia, and I said no because I refused to drill a hole in her.
But let's mark this one down. I'm gonna paper towel this, and then we'll. There is absolutely no information on it yet. The only thing I can tell you about the mini EC is John had a dream one night, woke up, and spent the entire day designing and working on it. And that is pretty much all the information he shared. So it was inspired, but we don't have any other real information to share with you yet. All right. Let's put a grid on this. And I'm thinking we might do something a little bit heftier than pencil. Might grab my brass screw and do it that way. And you put the grid on here so that you can see that it is perfectly flat. Yeah, yes, Jeff. Yeah. So we'll put a grid across here. And this is kind of a big grid, but this is also kind of a big stone. We should also put dimensions on, give you guys dimensions on the stone so you can see just really how big you can do in this reciprocating lap. You got a soft spot right there. There, it's kind of chunking out a little bit.
I have to go back.
Something that size, do you still need to weight it down?
No, not everything needs a weight put on it. This one's plenty heavy enough without weights. And a lot of, stones are, if you're doing like a slab or smaller pieces, you need the weight. But if you're doing a big piece like this, you don't got to add weight to it. It'll be just fine. Yeah, I can feel that area over here is not as flat yet. So I'll
I
add
bet
a
he does,
little.
smart.
What?
When I'm not here, you walk by Petunia and kick her.
No, I like Petunia. Petunia and I are
Mm.
friends.
I will say, out of a lot of people who've used Petunia, Zeke is probably the best and the only person I trust to really, besides John. Well, even John. John's hard on my saws.
I was about to say, hey, not probably, most definitely.
What grade are you starting out with?
We're doing 80 grit on this piece. Let's see. All right. It's a little bit hard to see, but there's a brass grid on there now. This is nothing fancy. It's literally just a brass screw that I took to the cab machine and ground the end down on.
Oh, my hands are cold now.
Zeke,
And my shirt
And
is wet.
but yes, Lizelle.
what's the reason for using the brass screw instead of a carpenter's pencil?
The brass is a lot harder to wash off, and I don't want to use um
Eh.
a like a Sharpie because then it's gonna soak into all the little grooves in this stone. So the brass will is only gonna come off with the grinding, and it won't wash off. So I like it a little bit better than the pencil. The pencil is too easy to wash off. So a lot of people use pencil, but in this case, I was like, I want it a little bit better.
Is that better lighting? A little cab, just because what else am I doing?
The sauce just finished, Tay. If you want to show those agates you
Ooh.
cut.
Yeah, here's what I made on a cut and chat, I think last week. This was from a piece of Millefiori that someone bought.
Wow.
That's my other little cab.
Yeah, I can't believe Lizelle would sell Tay's piece of Millefiori.
Mm-hmm. See, my two little babies. Once a week I try to do a little cab.
What's the material in the green one?
It's like chrysocolla, malachite, tinerite. It was a slab given to me, so I don't have any information about it per se.
I know it's from
Uh,
Mexico. I remember that much.
yeah, the other one is a piece of Millefiori glass. It's just the end cut where it all mixes together. So, I cut. These are just some Moroccans I stuck in the saw and some Lagunas. Eh, that one's interesting. Didn't really turn out. I was hoping for that face. It opens up in it. It's kind of cool, but I'll probably slab it up or make a cab out of it. It has those nice mustard colors, and I like the orbs because you have that clear agate, so that gives like a really cool effect. Petunia is dirty. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna ignore her. Ooh, this is a cool little Laguna. Oh, I'll actually flip it up. Look at that Sagenite spray in it. That's cool. Got a little bit of from a new blade. Look at that. I like that a lot. With the little tubes around. That's a nice one. Oh, this is a disappointment. What can you not do? Not everyone can be a killer. You gotta have your medium ones. Nice siderite and quartz center. Kind of cool though. But Probably would make nice thin earrings or a cab. Slice it up. Ooh, that's a cutie. Like to see that. That's what I'm gonna polish. Love the orange center. I almost forgot the name of the color. This one was a little risky. Yep. I'm gonna have to
How,
do another cut on it, and I don't
how'd your
want to.
risky one? How'd your risky one turn out?
Bad.
Oh, it was risky, and we risked it and failed. Well, you never know.
It's a lot of moss. Like that's agate, but not great. So I'm gonna slab it. Yeah, what can you do? That's the fun part about taking rock. Kind of like a gamble.
Rocks is definitely a fun gamble
And then this is Zeke cutting a seam agate in a weird way.
in a weird way. Right, don't take it out of the vise.
Oh, never mind. Do you want me to do one, two, three, four? How many do you want? Four or
7.
seven? Five, six, seven. Well, seven takes you right to the edge. Nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah, you can do 6.
Well, I already did seven, bud.
Oh, okay. Um, how'd the slab turn out?
Pretty cool.
You got lots of those little eyes in there.
Got lots of the little eyes in there. Taco Bell.
We can do that.
I'm driving.
I was just inspecting the of course you got to do your testing. So I was just inspecting, and these seem to be doing really good. The grease is getting pushed around. I was looking in there. The little bit of black you see down in here, that's just normal wear from the belt. So that's nothing to worry about.
You'll never believe what happens, Zeke.
The one is so clean because I took it out and washed it to inspect it. You guys want a Mozambique deal on the specimens? Or were you saying you wanted a nodule deal? He got cut.
Yeah. I don't even know how.
What was the question?
And
Excuse me, Tay.
there, what the heck? The
Henry,
rocks are assaulting me.
Henry Westers was asking is how do you lift the pan?
I just pick it up and lift it straight off. I'm doing my I got a new machine. I'm inspecting it right now, but
Is it something I could pick up? Wait,
no,
let's see.
it is not.
Can I try?
No, because
I'm
Sherman's
like,
gonna be mad at me for letting
well,
you hurt your back.
I'm more asking for like the average person. That's not bad.
Okay.
Question from John Kringle, is cabbing Millie Fury any different?
No, the polish is the same as just doing rock.
Yep, glass is sits about a seven as agate. It's actually in my like certain glass polish is easier in my opinion, like takes a polish easier than agate sometimes. I think sometimes it's also like how it shows micro scratches and stuff. It's not as showy.
All right. Get that back in there. Now, if I was starting with a new grit, this would be wildly not clean enough. Um,
You get
to start it.
contamination.
But because I'm starting the same grit on a stone that's been running in here, it's gonna be fine.
He was like oohing and ahhing on this guy.
I'm very excited about this piece of moss. For some period of time, this when it's polished, this will live in my entryway when you first walk into my apartment.
Oh my God, it's like John using like an ocean jasper sphere as a door jamb.
Ah, we're out of paper tails.
Uh, you act like you didn't go through all of them just now. This is a you inflicted problem.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Aha. All right, pal.
All right, shall we get this started and then we can call it a night? Get it loaded up
Oh,
here again. I'm very excited to have this piece finished, but it's been sitting here for like 2 days.
I haven't eaten
Um,
anything all day.
Girl, we literally went to dinner
I haven't eaten anything all day. I'm withering away.
as if we did not just go to dinner.
Listen, an engine needs fuel, and I am an engine without fuel.
Okay. All right. So I got my 60, 90, or 80 grit, and we'll start with our 4 tablespoons. And I think my cup is over here. And I'm going to start the rock with 2 cups and see how that looks. I think I'll need to add a little bit more, but let's see. Because I got a little bit more splashing with 4 cups than I'd like. So let's start. That's 2 cups of water right there. Let's get this started. And if I like it, we'll go with it. If not, we'll add in another cup. Or,
Do you
a
want
little bit depending on how much is needed.
do you want to see the most insane one I've cut to this date? Or you cut? I think I cut this one. It's hard to tell. I've cut so many. Do you want to see the most insane parallax agate?
Yes, we do. Yeah, see, honestly, 2 cups is probably okay to get that started.
So this is what the it looked like. This is a Moroccan. That's what it looked like without cutting it. Yeah. This is my favorite thing. I have 3 of them like this now. And this is the lower grade one, by the way, because it doesn't have color. You really got to watch because, like, you can't really see it when it's just like this. Insane. Anyways, this is what I geek about really, really badly. Like, is that not
That is
insane?
that's incredible.
Like, this is like, I'd say the some of the top parallax you can find.
Oh, I agree. That's really good parallax.
This is coming from people who see thousands of agates on the reg.
On the reg. Alrighty. Oh, that was funny.
I'll shoot a better video on like my phone and stuff of some of these. Wait, where'd my other
I
ones
I
go,
would
Seek?
I would recommend after running this machine that to have a drip set up um if you're going to let this run without supervision. But with this amount of water in there, there's really no splash outside the machine. But if you let too much mud build up, I am going to add a little tiny bit more because we're going to let this run for a few hours tonight. Yeah, it was maybe another quarter a cup of water, so it's not an exact science, but between 2 and 3 cups, it'll also depend on how much rock you have in there to displace the water. So the water is not an exact science, but it's moving around the pan nicely. Yes, it does come with this splash guard. When you buy this machine, you're gonna get the machine, one pan, two sets of the nylon bearings, one set of the disc bearings that go in each of the little slots, a bag of grease. I can't remember if I said it, but the pan. You get the bumper for the pan and the splash guard. But I'd say average for most pieces, you're going to be between 4 and 12 hours per step. But it depends on how good the cut is, how big the piece is, how much the piece weighs, how hard the material it is. This one, had a bad cut. It was a really big piece. And right now it's about 14 hours of running. Maybe not quite that much, maybe only 12 hours. And I'll probably run it another 8 hours before it's done. Island agates, I didn't get to read the full question, but medium island agates are usually between 2 and 4 inches.
Daniel said, what size
Smalls,
is the average island number two small?
number 2 small. Let's
Yeah.
go look at the
And
bin.
about an inch.
I'd say between 1 and 3 inches is a range. Let's see.
Uh,
I can actually remember where that bin is though, so
Can you pull like
bigger
a
than the
four
Almejo.
pound? Can you pull like a 4 pound for that?
So this is the bin of I won't go, there we go. Of the small number 2. So you just see them in my hands. And then yes, Lizelle. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness. I didn't get to see that. Okay. Tay was way under impressed with that piece because good grief, that's cool. That's a
I didn't
great
look
little
at
piece.
it.
Tay was like, had some eyes in it. I'm like, dang, that's nice. Little
We're
piece to
different people, Zeke.
Idaho number deposit 2.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like how
that's an
you reacted to my
awesome
parallax
piece.
agate.
That's a really cool piece. On this exact saw right here, or just on the 12SS? Oh, okay, yes. This is my version of Petunia. This is the very first stainless steel saw that John, or 12-inch saw that John made. And so
That's my petunia.
I told John if he tries to sell this one, I was taking the nameplate off and graving my name on it. This one has a puddle of oil around it because I had taken the blade off and put a 10-inch blade on there and filled the oil up. And it had, so then when I put a 12-inch blade back on there, it had way too much oil in there. So it was causing so much oil, to be slung around that it was leaking out the back because it was just like, it was so much oil mist and stuff coming, hitting the hood and such. I do tend to like a little extra oil in my sauce. But that is the one machine in here that'll never allowed to be sold. It's going in the museum one day. All right. Well, thank you all. That was a ton of fun tonight. We got to play with a lot of fun stuff. And oh, it looks like rock was delivered while we were working, or at least I assume that's what that is. That's exciting. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. It was a blast. We'll see y'all tomorrow night for some awesome tote. Thanks, everybody.